in elementary school, my teacher would always ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? And there would always be the firefighter and the policeman, the vet, the doctor, even Batman sometimes. But when she looked at me and she said, Juliette, what do you want to be when you grow up? I looked at her and I said, when I grow up, I want to be happy. And she looks at me as if I either misheard the question or didn't understand something that she did. Now, American author and journalist Ernest Miller Hemingway once said that happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know. And while I know that the very definition of happiness differs from person to person, I know one thing for sure. Everyone deserves to be happy. Everyone deserves to smile. And everyone deserves moments in their day when they forget about the stress, whether it's school, work, friends, family, and the list goes on and on. As a student, I am surrounded by the infamous pressure of school, work, grades, college that I often forget to stop and smile. And that's how it is these days. Students are pressured to be 4.0 students, get into a big name college, get a great job, then retire? And sometimes we often forget to just stop, take a minute to breathe, smile. As an aspiring engineer and entrepreneur, I've made it a goal to target this problem and break daily routines. Here's how I did it. It's junior year in high school and I'm walking down the halls of my school with my backpack on and my brain ready to learn about US history. There's a bunch of boys by the lockers and I overhear them talking about urinals? Yeah, one of them said, yeah, I was peeing and then it kept splashing on my pants, so now it looks like I had an accident. And after getting over how disgusting that was, I ultimately decided that I needed to do something about it. So I pulled out the pencil and paper, the X-Acto knives and rulers, the very, very little knowledge I had of men's restrooms, and I start prototyping. I start off with sponges, I changed the design, got some help, moved to ceramic. I learned how to throw clay, and I made the first prototype of the urinal guard. The urinal guard, a ceramic device that prevents splashing in urinals. After was implementation. With the help of a mentor, I was able to anonymously install this urinal in my school's new building, the Sullivan Center, in the restroom, along with a survey box. So after a couple of days, I received an overwhelming amount of responses, and it completely blew my mind when I found out that the urinal guard worked. It prevented urine from getting on their pants and shoes. Happy, I guess? So after getting those results, I went back into prototyping and I created 2 more prototypes of the urinal guard, and I'm happy to say that I have the final design of the urinal guard. That's not the moral of the story, though. What does this have to do with happiness? I realized that as more and more guys learned about the urinal guard, the purpose of going to the restroom changed. Instead of going to the restroom to use the restroom, guys went to the restroom to check out the urinal guard, to see if it actually prevented urine getting on their pants, to see what the hype was and to get a laugh out of it. We break daily routines. And I found that from this project, I created another way to communicate with people, to say, hey, take a moment in your day and smile. Now, the surveys that I had asked 3 questions. 1, how was your experience? 2, how well it worked? And 3, leave a comment if they felt inclined to. And I received many, many hilarious different comments, such as, 100 points, it's so fun. Or, they need these everywhere, I am tired of peeing on myself. Or, thanks for doing this, it works. And my favorite one is, this is hilarious, you're a legend. And through this project, I found that creating things can actually provoke happiness. There are a couple of side notes about this project. Number 1, I have never thrown clay or done ceramic before, so it's funny to think that the first thing I did was going to be put in a urinal. Number 2, I'm very excited to say that the urinal guard is actually in its final design and it's currently being patented. And number 3, I have been in the men's restroom way too many times and a girl really should have been. Now, after the urinal guard and some other fabrication projects I had done in the Sullivan Center, I found another opportunity for happiness. The Sullivan Center for Innovation and Leadership is a 4-story building built by my school opened last year. And it's got a new fabrication lab on the bottom floor, which is basically my home. I do all of my projects there. It's got a new library, a rooftop garden, project space, a laboratory, and a very, very slow elevator. The Sullivan Center elevator. A 5-by-7-foot space that takes you up 4 floors, down 4 floors, very, very slowly. And for a building that's supposed to promote creativity, innovation, the elevator's dull and bland. And the first thing you'll notice when you walk in is that the numbers that say 1, 2, 3, and 4 are square metal platings that people often mistake for the buttons. So I would be in there with a very shy tour group, and I think they're intimidated of me because I try to crack jokes and stuff. It doesn't work. But I'm with a tour group, and I'm in the elevator, and we're waiting for it for about a minute. We go in it, and I'm pressing stationary metal, and they think I'm crazy, and it's the longest 40 seconds of my life. And one day, I went into the elevator, and I saw that my mentor, who had helped me with the urinal guard, had pulled a little prank on the elevator. On the square metal platings was little laser-cut plexiglass that said, "I am your elevator." And it says elevator, and then it's Darth Vader. And I realized that it actually, not only did it stop people from clicking the stationary metal, but it also gave people a reason to smile and laugh at the ridiculous pun. So instead of complaining about how slow and dull the elevator may be, this prank switched my perception of this 5-by-7-foot space. Instead of complaining about it, maybe it's an opportunity for change and happiness. So I then teamed up with him, and we did our first major installation in the elevator, the Valentine's Day Love-ator. We love puns. So in that 5-by-7-foot space, we turned the elevator into a drive-in movie theater with laser-cut miniature cars, cheesy love songs playing, and an iPad that looped various love scenes from movies. And this was something never before seen at our school, so the ultimate concern was, what if the administration wants to pull it down? Because that promotes students it gives them opportunities to break the rules since students weren't actually allowed to use the elevator. And while there always will be people who are opposing change, for those who were able to go in, it was all smiles. So we then became the Iolani Hackers, an anonymous group that pulled hacks overnight at the school. Now, we're not talking about hacks when we're in front of a computer and we're trying to get into a website or something. Hacks are technologically challenging, clever, good-natured, fun pranks that promote happiness. That's challenging to the hacker and entertaining to the audience. From these hacks, I completely fell in love with designing, laser cutting, and just building things and promoting happiness. From that, we just went bigger, we went further, we went more complex when it came to the themes. So we've turned the elevator into a tribute to Frank Sinatra, a dance party where you were the DJ, a graduation tribute to the class of 2014, a Nintendo arena where you were surrounded by your favorite Super Smash Bros. Characters, an interactive jukebox, a tribute to the Beatles, and right now the hackers are taking our audience down the rabbit hole to Alice in Wonderland. Now, I found that just like the urinal guard, well, kind of like the urinal guard, they're two completely different things. We've changed the purpose of daily activities. Just like the urinal guard when we said, okay, we're gonna change the purpose of going to the restroom. We've changed the purpose of going to the elevator. Instead of going up to the 4th floor, people are going to the elevator to see what the new theme is. And it's giving them an opportunity for happiness. Now, through all of these projects and my experience in the fabrication lab, just dreaming and building whatever comes up within my mind, because there's this magical feeling when you come up with something in the shower and you see it in real life form, like laser cut. I found that building things and creating things is another form of communication. Now, when it comes to words or daily speaking, words can be misinterpreted in so many different ways, but when it comes to a physical object, everyone is looking at the same thing, and it's up to the audience of how they want to interpret it. So I may not have known any better when I was in kindergarten And my teacher asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said I wanted to be happy, although I think I want to be a princess in this picture. When I was in elementary school, I had this innocence that I never, ever want to lose about happiness. And I truly do believe that everyone should be happy, whether it's coming from something that they're passionate about or something given to them. And I guess in our case, it's something given to them. And I've realized that with the technological advancements in the 21st century and the never-ending innovation and creativity aspect of life, it is not a 21st century search for happiness, that's what my TED Talk is called. Because you can't just wait for things to be given to you. It's about coming across opportunities, switching your perceptions, and making the most out of it. It is not a 21st century search for happiness. It is the 21st century creation of it. Thank you.